So 9.3, geometric sequences in series. We're going to move on. Today we're just going to do recognize, write, and find the nth term. The basic stuff. Monday we'll do the other. So geometric, arithmetic had a common difference. Geometric has a common ratio. Okay. You find it by putting so you have a sequence of numbers, and you find the ratio by putting the second divided by the first, the third divided by the second, the fourth divided by the third, and so on. Okay? So, common ratio. We typically don't say divided by anything. We just say multiplied by a fraction, just like with Gauss-Jordan elimination. As you move further in math, you won't use division of stuff. You'll just multiply by reciprocals. Let me know when I'm good. You say good? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so determine whether the sequence is geometric. If so, state the common ratio. Okay, so on your test, I will give you sequences, and I will say, is it geometric, arithmetic, or neither? So you'll have to figure that out. Okay, so way I'm going to do it is I'm going to take the second. I touched it. The second divided by the first, the third divided by the second, the fourth divided by the third. Okay, so, well, I get...
They're all three.
Three?
Yeah.
So 3, 3, and 3. So it's geo. And R is our common ratio, and it is 3. So then I got 25, 20, 15, 10. Hopefully you can tell me right now that is not geometric. It's arithmetic. So, and D is? Negative 5. So then I have 5, 1, 0.2, 0.04. So I divide again. Okay, well, 1/5, so 0.2, so that would be 0.04. So 1 divided by 5 is 0.2, correct?
Yeah.
And then 0.2 divided by 5, wouldn't that be point?
0.2 divided by 1.
No. Oh, yes. I did that. I did the third one right, not this one. Sorry.
Just all 0.2.
I was kind of messed up right there.
Okay, so then I get 0.2 for the second. And then I move this, and I move this, and it looks like I have 0.2 again. Mm-hmm. So it is a geometric, and R is 0.2. I personally would write 1/5 because if I have to take 1/5 the numbers, it's easier for me to think about than multiplying by 0.2, and I don't know why. Okay, now on D, I have 9, -6, 4, -8/3. Could I ever get a positive, negative pattern with arithmetic? No, because I can switch from positive to negative or negative to positive one time, right? But I can't bounce back and forth. The bouncing back and forth is multiplying by a negative, isn't it? So if anything, it's going to be negative something, right? So it'd be -6 divided by 9, 4 divided by -6, and then it'd be -1/8 divided by 4, so that would be multiplied by 1/4. Correct? Okay, so -2/3 negative 2/3, and negative 2/3. So it is geometric, and R is bless you. Okay, the next one, bless you. You're tempted just to say no because you have a bunch of nasty fractions, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if it is arithmetic, we have to get common denominators, so we're going to hope that it's geometric, right?
Yes.
Cross our fingers. So 2/7 divided by 1/5 is multiplied by 5/1. And 3/9 divided by 2/7 is multiplied by 7/2.
Nope.
And 4/11 divided by 9/3, or 3/9 is 9/3. And Caden says no. So the first one is 10/7, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is 21.
18.
Oh, wait, we can reduce.
Yeah.
1, 3. So it's 7/6.
Yep.
Do I even need to keep going?
No.
No. So it's not geometric, but I do need to check if it's arithmetic, right? I know, we can cry. Well, 35 would be the first two, wouldn't it? So that would be 10 minus 35ths. So that's 3/35ths.
And then 99.
We'd have 9 and 7 would be 63, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be 21 minus 18 63rds. 21, 18 is 3.
30, 21.
But, so it'd be 63rds, but then it would be 1/21st.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 1/21st and 3/35ths. So I do what I have to do. So this is a either. Is the math going to get sometimes gross?
Yes.
Yes.
You told us to say no from the beginning. There's a bunch of nasty practice.
No, you guys would say no from the beginning because you wouldn't do the nasty.
But neither.
I should have made it a
I got
yes.
it right.
Okay, so here is your definition, your rule, your formula.
Oh no.
A sub n equals A sub 1 times R to the n minus 1.
Where are you going? Blow my nose, Cadence. No.
Everyone for all times will now know that Jaden needed to blow her nose. So what's arithmetic again?
A n equals A sub 1 plus parenthesis n minus 1 parenthesis d.
Okay,
I can't believe it.
so we have arithmetic and we have
No hitting me today.
geometric. Okay, so we need to look at these. Look at the two. How can you know which one is which? If I would put them in front of you and told you to name them, like say arithmetic or geometric, how would you know the difference?
That n minus 1 in the air. And it has an R in it.
Okay,
Instead of d.
geometric has a ratio because geometrics have ratios, right?
Ratio.
Arithmetic has a difference. Cadence brought up that there's an exponent in the geometric, correct? Well, it would make sense because you're multiplying by something. The arithmetic, it's only addition. Anything else?
The n minus 1 is in parentheses.
Well, the n minus 1 could be in parentheses too.
Well, and it's
Right, it's not an exponent. In the geometric, it's an exponent, and in the arithmetic, it's not. So you need to know it. That's their third equation. What's the other equation you got in your head right now?
S equals
n over 2 a sub 1 plus a sub n. Ah! I touched it. Yes, ma'am.
So is that one not yours?
No, I got mine back. That's in the office, I think.
No, the office has.
Did you check the superintendent's office?
Oh, that could be.
I think it's that.
Isn't this one Barnhart's, guys? I don't know.
Mine says Mick all over it.
Okay.
Imagine having my car.
Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
Write the first 5 terms of the geometric sequence.
The S one, what is it like called?
Oh, the sum of an arithmetic. Of a finite arithmetic. Because it has to stop, right? Okay. Write the first 5 terms of the geometric sequence for which a sub 1 equals 3 and whose common ratio is 2. So we need to write our definition, our formula, our equation. I keep saying all 3 things because that is what you could call it. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so a sub n equals, what's a sub 1?
3.
3. R
2.
2 to the n minus 1. I do not like that. Don't like it. Looks yucky to me. That n minus 1, doesn't that look yucky to you too?
Yeah.
A little bit. So what this actually was 3 times 2 to the n times 2 to the negative 1, wasn't it? Because when we multiply exponents, we add them, right? And what's a negative exponent do to something? Reciprocates it, right? So that would be 3 times 2 to the n over,
1/2.
no, just 2. Or you could write it a sub n equals 3 halves 2 to the n. Because you can't reduce the 2's because it has the n there. Does that look much better to work with?
No.
To me, it does. Okay, so this is putting it in. This is simplified.
Do you have to do that to figure it out?
No, you don't have to do it to figure it out. There'll be ones that I expect you to do, and there'll be ones that I would be like, you can leave it that way.
Hold on.
So, but I will simplify it every time. The whole point of that is to get used to manipulating functions. It doesn't change it in any way. So if you wrote the first one on your paper, and then you went to reduce it, and it didn't go so hot, you might lose a half a point. But I want you to try to reduce them. To like simplify them, not reduce them. Sorry, I said that wrong. Okay, so now I have to plug in 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 5. So a sub 1 equals, I want to plug it into this equation. So I have 3 halves times 2 to the first. Well, the 2's reduced, right? And I get 3. Is that what I should have gotten?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a check, right? So then I have a sub 2. So I have 3 halves 2 squared. And don't multiply it out because one of them reduces, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So 2 times 3 is 6. And then 3 halves 2 to the third. 1 reduces out, so I have 2 squared. 2 squared is 4 times 3 is 12. A sub 4 is 3 halves times 2 to the fourth. Well, 1 reduces, so it's 3. So 2 to the third is 8. 24. Anybody can tell me what a sub 5 is before we get there? It should be 48, right? So 2 to the fifth So it reduces to 4, so 16 times 3 is 48. Now, R was 2, so we should know that every time I'm multiplying my answer by what? 2. Remember, this is an explicit definition. Just multiplying the previous answer is that recursive definition, isn't it? So to write a recursive definition to this, I would say a sub 1 was 3, and a sub n equals a sub n minus 1. Oh, it'd be 2 a sub n minus 1. Meaning multiply. I don't like that equals. So when you see this, because you will have recursive today, you'll see this right here and know it's recursive, correct? Mm-hmm. And then it says, what are you doing to the previous term? Multiplying it by 2. Questions? Concerns? Write the definition and find the 12th term. So what's my formula? A sub n.
A sub n equals A1.
A sub 1.
N minus 1.
R to the n minus 1. You just leave out all the important stuff. It's okay. So a sub n equals times 3 to the, okay, so remember this is 3 to the n times 3 to the negative 1, right? So simplified would be 5/3, 3 to the n. So is it really that hard to simplify them? No. Some of them, when you get fractions, remember when you divide, you have to multiply by the reciprocal, but you can do it. So now I need to plug in what?
12.
12. So I need a sub 12. So I have 5/3 times 3 to the 12th. So one of those reduces, yes? Anybody know 3 to the 11th? No, not me. Okay, on your test, you would leave it like that. You could figure it out if you had time. I will tell you, I expect you to do 2 quite a ways up. Shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I would not expect this one. Ready? 885,735.
Is that also times 5?
No, that I did that times 5. And the reason I won't let you use your calculator is your calculator will actually do these for you. So,
Do what?
like, it will do it all for you.
The sequences?
I guess I know how to do my homework today.
You got to figure it out, though. You'd spend more time figuring it out. Okay, do your 10th term.
Google. Duh.
This one you're going to have to figure out R a little bit. You're going to have to actually do the math to figure out R.
Oh.
Can I start?
I don't even know what R is yet, so sure.
Are you dividing the second one by the first one?
Well, that's what's like confusing me, Miss Mick. 'Cause now.
Oh, I subtracted. Does our exponent have to be on the outside of parentheses?
No. I just don't like it on the inside. Sometimes it does, but like if it was an addition or something, it would, but not with the. Oh my gosh. How'd it go?
Bad.
Horrible.
Why?
I had no idea how to reduce that. Or
Okay,
simplify
so
it.
if you don't know how to simplify that, could you plug it in right here? Yes?
Yes.
Because if you plugged it in right here, you would have a sub 10 equals 6 times negative 1/3 to the 10 minus 1.
Which is 9.
Oh, shoot, I'm not done. I didn't finish simplifying mine. And that should be... Okay, just a second. Okay, so here would be 6 times negative 1/3 to the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be negative 6 over 3 to the 9th. And could I get rid of a 3? Is there a 3 and 6 and... Yes? So then it'd be 2 and this would be 8. So negative 2 over 3 to the 8th. I think it should be... Oh, I didn't. Okay, so on mine, that negative would not be there because 3 to the 10th would be positive. Negative 3 to the 10th would be positive, correct? Because there'd be 10 negatives. So do I have 3s in 18? I have how many?
3.
3. Should only have 2.
Why did you show me 3?
Because I wanted 3 because I had 9. And I was thinking 3. Okay, so I have 2 of them. So this turns to an 8. And this turns to a 2. So I get negative 2 over 3 to the 8th. Did I get the same answer?
Yes.
Yes. So plugging it in to the non-simplified or the simplified, will it change your answer? No. So if you're stuck on simplifying, that's just a side note. That's not the concept I'm teaching here, is it? So if you're stuck on simplifying, plug it in and finish. We can work on simplifying later. Tomorrow, I'm not sure how they want it. I don't think you have to simplify on the IXL. But, you know, if you get it wrong, you'll see how they want it. So, questions? Do I need to show you how to simplify cadence?
No.
Yes.
Why'd you ask me?
Okay. So look what I did. I plugged it in. Did you plug it in right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I separate that. So I have negative 1/3 to the n times negative 1/3 to the negative 1. So you know that the negative 1 reciprocates it. So it makes it negative 3. So 6 times negative 3 is negative 18.
Okay.
Okay. Other questions?
Let's not do that one.
I need an easier one this time.
Nope, this one's going to be one of the hard ones in your homework. Okay, so it says the fourth term of a geometric sequence is 125. So a sub 4 equals 125, all right? And the 10th term, so a sub 10, equals 125 over 64. And I hate it when they write fractions like that, but that's how the book does it. So they ultimately want me to find a sub 14. So I need to write an equation, don't I? So we have a sub n equals a sub 1 r to the n minus 1. Now, we did these problems with arithmetic and we moved everything back, didn't we? Like we moved it back. So if I make this a sub 1 here, what does that make a sub 10?
A sub 6.
Yes.
7?
Oh, yeah.
Because I subtracted 3.
Yeah.
Yeah? So now I'll plug in into this equation. So your a sub n is your a sub 7, which is 125 over 64. Your a sub 1 is
125.
125. We don't know r, do we? No. N is,
125.
well, that's the 125 over 64 is the a sub n. What's n? 7 minus 1. Okay, so I've got to divide by 125 or multiply by 125th. So what happens to your 125s?
They cancel out.
They reduce.
Same thing.
So then I have r to the 6th. So I now have to take the
Square root.
6th root. Well, the 6th root of 1 is 1. What's the 6th root of 64? It's 2. Because 3 cubed is 8, yes? And 8 times 8 is 64. So I have 2 to the, it's just 2, not 2 to the. So our r is what? 1/2. And now we go back to one of these two. Which one you want to go back to?
125.
125, of course. And we're going to plug it in here to find a sub 1. So we have 125 equals a sub 1. R is what? 1/2. What's n?
4.
4 minus 1. So that gives me 3, right? So 125, a sub 1, and 2 to the third is 8, so it's 1/8. So I multiply by the reciprocal. So a sub 1 is, let's say, 0, carry a 4. 9,000? No, 900. I got 900. Yes? 8 times 5 is 40, carry 4. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 4. Oh, it is 1,000. It's a 2, not a 1. I carried a 1. Sorry. So a sub 1 is 1,000. So when you're doing these problems, like on a test, I'm looking for your R, your a sub 1, and now you're just your equation. So that would be a sub 1, so 1,000 times R to the n minus 1. And that minus 1 reciprocates and multiplies it, right?
Yes.
So if you reduce it, it would be 2,000 times 1/2 to the n. But either way, it's going to give me the right answer, isn't it? So to find a sub 14, we'll plug it into both and make sure we get the right answer. So I have 1,000 times 1/2 to the 14 minus 1. So I get 1,000 over 2 to the 13th. And I probably need to reduce that, right? So if I divide 1,000 by 2, I get 500. And I'm just putting tick marks over here. Can I divide 500 by 2?
Yes.
And I get 250. Can I divide that by 2? And I would get 125. Can I divide that by 2? No. So I took how many off? 3. So it's 2 to the 10th. So 2 to the 5th is 16. Yes? No. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. Do we know 32 squared?
No.
No. So am I good to leave it here? Okay. So I'm here. So let's put it in the reduced one. We better get the same answer, right? So I get 2,000 times 1/2 to the 14th. So I can reduce it by 2 once and get 1,000. Again, and get 500. Again, and get 250. And again, and get 125. So that's 125 over 2 to the
Good morning.
10th.
SBSA would like to take the opportunity to thank the entire student body for your efforts in helping us collect food for the Wymore Food Pantry.